I got the moves. I got the moves. I'm making moves. You gotta move. You gotta make the city move. Like, whoa. I make the city move. I got the move.
In every NBA season, there are always at least a few NBA players who leap into stardom. Last season, it was Pascal Siakam, D'Angelo Russell and De'Aaron Fox, as well as some other guys that went under the radar. But after this offseason's crazy moves, where over 40% of the league changed teams, there are a lot more players than ever before in new situations, ready to take the next step towards an all-star appearance next season. I'll be going over all the players I think can do that in today's video. If you're new here and enjoy the video, be sure to subscribe for more NBA content. But with that being said, let's get right into this top 7. Number 7. Brandon Ingram. Brandon Ingram has been projected to have a breakout year for a while now, but the likelihood of him actually having one has tremendously increased ever since being traded to the Pelicans in the Anthony Davis deal. Ingram had a slow start to his NBA career, but his last couple of seasons in the league have been fantastic, particularly last season where he averaged 18.3 points on almost 50% shooting from the field. Those are great stats from a third-year player, but they could be better. He played behind LeBron James, and obviously that's going to slow down his production, but at the very least he's proven how good he can be. And now he's on the New Orleans Pelicans and will most likely be the first option on the team to begin the season. He's got a big opportunity in front of him, and if he makes the most of it, he could easily become a 21 to 22 points per game scorer for the season and make a run for an all-star appearance. Alongside a brilliant young core involving Lonzo Ball, Josh Hart and Zion Williamson, Brandon Ingram is going to get a lot of great shots and should continue to score the ball at a high and efficient level. He's not carrying a team, he's got talent around him to help him out when he struggles. And when he does struggle, the spotlight will not shine on him, or not as much as it did in LA. In Los Angeles, the pressure on rookies like Ingram is intense, as if they fail, a lot of the blame and hatred is directed their way. In New Orleans, Ingram is out of the spotlight and will receive little attention. Hopefully, he uses the quiet as a positive and continues his progression to all-stardom and regularly plays at a high level, like we saw last season in LA. As the number one option on the young rebuilding Pelicans team, there is no doubt in my mind that Ingram can become the Durant-X scorer he was projected to be coming into the 2016 NBA Draft. Number 6. Jaren Jackson Jr. Jaren Jackson Jr. had an above-average rookie year, but seeing as he plays in Memphis, a lot of his efforts went completely under the radar. He averaged nearly 14 points per game in his rookie season, along with 5 boards, a block and a steal to add to that too. Seeing as the Grizzlies like how he's been performing, I expect his minutes to be upped a lot more, maybe around the 30 to 35 minute range, and I reckon he could become a candidate for the most improved player. Though he still obviously has a lot to work on, you can't forget that he's still young and has a lot of potential. With Memphis center Jonas Valanciunas returning, Jaren Jackson Jr. will be provided with excellent mentorship, and with this, I expect his game to further develop and improve. The duo of him and Morant is enticing, and I'm looking forward to see how he progresses next season. I have high hopes for him. He has shown a ton of promise this past season. He's gotten a great role on Memphis, and if his rookie season has showed us what's in store, he's looking likely to be an all-star of the future and probably break out this upcoming season. Number 5. Bam Adebayo. The Miami Heat made some big moves this summer, trading away Josh Richardson so they could get in return all-star Jimmy Butler. It was a crazy move that stunned the NBA. No one expected Butler to go to the Heat, but he did, and Miami are now looking to make a deep playoff run. Unfortunately, right now, the Heat probably need another star to guarantee themselves a good chance to go deep into the playoffs, but were unable to pull the trigger on Russell Westbrook, and other star players for trade out there are starting to look a bit scarce. But Heat fans shouldn't be upset, as they have 2 young players who have the potential to have a big year for them. The first guy is Tyler Hero, who's a rookie, so he's obviously not in this video, but he has shown a ton of upside in the Summer League. The guy I want to talk about, however, is Bam Adebayo. Going into his draft, I was very excited to see how Bam Adebayo would turn out in the NBA, but due to Hassan Whiteside and other issues, he hasn't had much of a chance to shine. In 23 minutes of action per game last season, Bam averaged a solid 9 points and 7 boards, but he could obviously do so much better. But now, Hassan Whiteside is gone, and it has opened up a spot in the starting lineup for Bam Adebayo, and he now has the potential to have a breakout year. His per 36 stats are 13 points and 11 rebounds, and I could easily see him putting up those numbers in his new role. That would make him an extremely efficient double-double guy, and his input could be enough to get the Miami Heat a good seed in the weak East, allowing them to go on a deep playoff run. Bam has a great game that I think fits really well with Jimmy Butler and co, and the Heat should give him a big opportunity this upcoming season. He has such good potential. Number 4. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was arguably the greatest pickup for the OKC Thunder this offseason, and one of the more underrated rookies last season in terms of how much impact he had on his team. He's a young prospect, and at the rate he was traveling last season, could become an all-star player down the track. He averaged 10 points per game, 3 assists, and a steal too. OKC is a perfect opportunity for him, as he will be able to get more time to run the offense and get more shots up. He'll overall have a huge opportunity to develop in OKC. Unfortunately, with Chris Paul on the team, this may hurt his opportunities a bit, but he should get a bigger role than he had on the Clippers, potentially even being a 6th man. But Chris Paul won't be all that negative. He will be a fantastic mentor for Shai, as he will share his knowledge of the game with him and help transform Shai's game, making him a potential perennial all-star. Plus, CP3 is likely to be traded after December 15 as OKC look to rebuild, so SGA should get a starting role on OKC, which would be amazing for him and his potential breakout year. I have high hopes for Gilgeous-Alexander, and I think he has one of the highest ceilings in the NBA. Number 3. Danilo Gallinari. A lot of you may be confused by this one, but hear me out. On his new team in the Oklahoma City Thunder, Danilo Gallinari's most likely going to become the number 1 option. I'm also not expecting him to get traded. This is why I have him on this list, as I'm expecting him to have a consistent all-around season. Alongside Chris Paul and Steven Adams, I'm expecting him to slide in really well, and as I mentioned, most likely be the number 1 scorer on offense. You might say Chris Paul is the number 1 guy, but he is most likely going to be moved at some point this season, and that will officially make Danilo the number 1 guy on OKC, as I'm not expecting Gilgeous-Alexander to have that big of a role so early. Overall, I think Danilo Gallinari needs a bit more respect from the NBA community. He's an extremely solid scorer and contributor to any NBA team, and he's got a huge opportunity right in front of him with OKC. I'm not expecting him to carry OKC to wins or anything. He doesn't have that much impact, but I mean, the Thunder are rebuilding, so it doesn't matter too much. I'm expecting him to average 20 plus points a game next season with great efficiency, thanks a lot to CP3. He should majorly improve across the board. Number 2. DeJounte Murray. DeJounte Murray was one of the NBA's brightest prospects just a couple seasons ago, but all of that was shoved into turmoil when Murray tore his ACL right at the beginning of the 2018-19 season. It was devastating for such a young player whose elite defense and promising offense needed athleticism to succeed. But now, as we approach the new season, I'm starting to get more and more excited about the return of Murray. I'm expecting him to be fully healthy, and as we've seen with other NBA talents such as Zach LaVine, an ACL tear wasn't the end of the world. In fact, most young players recently have come back better than ever after tearing their ACL. And for next season, I'm expecting the same for Murray. Alongside DeMar DeRozan, LaMarcus Aldridge, and Derek White, plus more, DeJounte Murray has the cast to make an amazing return to basketball. He won't be the number one option and probably won't even be number two, but as the season progresses and he finally gets back into the groove of things, I'm hoping he can produce at the level he was before his injury. He's an insane defender, the youngest to make an all-defensive team. If he can show that his capability for that end is still there, and maybe shoots better than seen in previous seasons, he could be a budding star of the future. This will be his third full NBA season, and I'm hoping he can return well. I love his game before his injury, and it would be awesome to see him play at that level again. As you can tell, this is more of a hope than a prediction, but I put him in here anyway, as I truly believe he can return to the level he was on, and maybe even better. Number 1. Pascal Siakam. Right at the start of the video, I said that Pascal Siakam was an example of a player who broke out last year, but I think he can do it again next season. Siakam was insane last season and was extremely influential during the Raptors championship run and had a crazy breakout season, so good that he managed to win the most improved player. And I think he has a chance to win the most improved player yet again. Kawhi Leonard is gone now, leaving Pascal Siakam as the number one option on the Raptors. Nick Nurse clearly trusts Siakam, so his minutes will go up again. Siakam is a fantastic scorer and floor spacer. He can shoot the ball decently from 3, around 36%, and is brilliant from inside, a 54% shooter in general from the field. With Leonard gone, with Nurse trusting him to be the number one option, I think Siakam can average 22 or more points per game on 50% shooting from the field, with maybe 7 or 8 rebounds to go with that next season. Siakam is a future All-NBA talent if he continues the road he's on, and I have no doubt he can take another major leap next season. But that will conclude the top 7. Let me know what you guys think of this list below. Who do you think will be most likely to break out next season out of the players on this list? Did I miss anyone? Drop a comment telling me what you think below. There are 3 honorable mentions, but this video is already long enough, so they'll be on the pinned comment and in the description if you're interested. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop it a like and subscribe, but with that being said, I am out. Peace.